No matter who we vote for, most of us want politicians to act within the law and not abuse their power. But time and again, the former government made a mockery of our democracy and attempted to put itself above the law. The new Labour government now has the chance to reverse this course and live up to its promise of serving the people. New Home Secretary Yvette Cooper must defend democracy by dropping the Conservative government's laws that completely ignored the will of Parliament. Last year, Suella Braverman changed the definition of serious disruption in protest law to mean more than minor disruption, giving police almost unlimited powers to place conditions on protests and arrest demonstrators. Parliament had already rejected this change to the law, but Braverman did it anyway, using something called secondary legislation, which isn't properly debated or scrutinised by MPs and peers. The police have since used the powers to arrest hundreds of people, including climate campaigner Greta Thunberg. The human rights organisation Liberty took the government to court and won. The judges said that Braverman had acted unlawfully by completely ignoring Parliament's intention when creating the original law. But the Conservative government appealed against the ruling just before calling the general election. So now the new Labour government has to decide whether to continue the appeal in support of this Tory power grab, which would set an extremely dangerous precedent, or they could defend democracy and the rule of law, drop the appeal and scrap these unlawful powers. Our parliamentary democracy exists to make sure a government can't just do whatever it wants. That must be respected. Labour has promised change and a government of service. The new Attorney General, the government's main legal advisor, has said this.
The Prime Minister and the Lord Chancellor have both made clear that the promotion and the protection of the rule of law will underpin our approach to legislation and policy. As we face the profoundly difficult choices and decisions that every government must make, it is the rule of law that will serve as our lodestar. This chamber has a special role in the scrutiny of legislation, and we will seek to promote the highest standards in how we legislate, seeking to increase accessibility and certainty of law, including by guarding against the abuse of the proper role of secondary legislation.
We will seek to promote the highest standards in how we make law, including not abusing the use of secondary legislation. So now is the time to prove it and drop this unjust appeal.